All right, how's it going, beautiful people? Let's try this again. I've been having some, a little bit of trouble with putting this stuff to work, the phone that is. All right, let's do this. Let's make this work now. Let me get that canvas ready. Don't go anywhere unless you have to. Unless you must. All right. I'm going to do a portrait painting today. Just getting this canvas ready. Watch it, pow! There we go. Let's put some light. Always want to have your studio well lit. Unless you're not into that, but you know, I like it well lit. I don't have it as lit as Dubai, but it's Dubai. but it's well lit. All right, here we go. Let's do this portrait painting. No particular reason why I start with any colors, okay? So just to let you guys know that the only reason I start with a color other than another one is because it's closer to me. So once I have this very much established where I want it to, and I'll show you right now what established means for me. For me, established means something like this, where it's at just about right now. Just a little bit more maybe, and then something like that. That's well established for me. A little bit more than that is kind of just, you know, pushing it. What I start doing is that I start going after the kill. Yes, I start going after the kill. And it's overkill. Now, for this kind of jam, guys, you just... There's two ways to go about it. You're either new and you do it right, or you'll be doing it a long time. And what I mean right is that you're fearless. When you're new at something, you're fearless. So I call that right. So you're either new and you do it right, or you've been doing it for a long time and you have to unlearn a few things. I hope I make any sense with that. But you have to unlearn a few things. It's so easy to get caught up in trying to do everything perfect, you know, and perfect not in the sense of realism. Again, perfect in the sense you could be doing abstract work and you could be like, oh man, the shade is not, you know, this color. I need this color. I need this exact color. That's what I mean by perfectionism. I don't mean like realism or any ism. That's what I mean by it. The painting comes together, in my experience, the painting comes together on its own. It doesn't need much of your thinking. It will come together as good as you practice and as good as you're comfortable. If you start thinking about shades and colors and whatnot for this type of jam, it's not going to fly. Every time I do that, I get punished by the painting. Punish is such a harsh word. I get punished by the painting, but I do. So I need to remind myself to leave it alone. And what I mean by that is just let it be. Let it be, like the Beatles say. Yes, it's not right. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, there should be more light here. There should be more light there. The proportion is off. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, it's okay. Let it be. When you do that, something else starts occurring. Something beyond starts occurring. And who knows? Maybe it's not the way you want it. Maybe it is. Who knows? But something else starts coming out. And that something else is much... it's really the insecurity is what kills a painting, I think. You know how people tend to say, oh, you know, A, B, and C kills a painting. No. Like they talk about style and this and that. No, insecurity is the biggest of the assassins when it comes to artwork. Insecurity is the thing that, you know, you start thinking about it, you start looking. See, what happens with insecurity is that you start getting caught up in mechanics. And when you start getting caught up in mechanics, then you stop seeing the painting. You're looking at shades, you're looking at composition, and all of those things are important, but not when you're painting. Now it's time to show up. There's no longer practice, it's time to do it. That's why Manet said only one thing is important: paint what you see instantly. He wasn't talking about being an impressionist. He himself didn't consider himself an impressionist. He was just talking about painting and you know, his point, he's what he learned about painting. And I think that he was on point. I think he was on point. I think that only one thing is true. I agree with him. Paint what you see instantly. Now, this does not mean that you have to paint quick. You might not. This does not mean that you have to. It just means you paint without the interruption of your mind. I think that that's what it means. It's a very Zen approach. That's why some people tell me I don't know, I want to do it. Like, you do it, but it's hard. It's not because you don't know how to paint. You might be a great portrait artist, a great artist or whatever, but you haven't maybe learned how to let go. Letting go is a heavy deal because you don't want to do it. You know, I don't want to do it. Nobody wants to do that because you want to control. You want to control the painting. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, Jolly, Carolina, and Tuzin Hani. I think I pronounced it correctly. And that's really the jam. You know, we don't want to lose control. Like Radiohead says, I want to have control. I want to have control. Well, that's really the thing that stops us. You know, it's this insatiable need for controlling, and the painting is not going to. That's why I believe it 1,000% when you know, there's stories about Eugène Delacroix finishing from start to finish. Full-size paintings are considered masterpieces in one night, and you're talking about things that look extremely calibrated. Things that look extreme, like the Arabian horses he painted, and you know, they just. I mean, there wasn't even a notion of being an abstract painter when he was doing that. You know, I guess there was, maybe the Romantics started doing stuff like that, but there wasn't much study into it. You know, he was one of the few colorists that was. Well, he was actually, like, many people consider him the first colorist. But how was he able to finish one painting? You know, and he would brag about it too. You know, like, he would make this very intense, elaborate painting in a few hours. You know, I even think that he probably did it in like 1 or 2 hours at most. You can see in the brushwork and everything. How is he able to do such a thing? I don't know. No, I'm not painting from a model. I'm usually the stuff that I do like this is it helps me to kind of study it. So it's more memory than anything else. I do have I create sketches. I do little charcoal sketches to kind of help me guide. But a lot of this stuff is it's more mechanical now for me. And I think that's what I think that's what's missing a lot in artwork today, intuitive art. A lot of us just want to be, we want to be the most realistic, the hyper realistic, and I think that's great. But even in practice, I've heard this realist, master. he's really great though. I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing that people still call people masters. and this older man, he's been painting his whole life, and he paints extremely realistic work. Not hyper realistic, but he's in that very classical school of painting, and he talks about it. He says, when I practice, I only practice like he says. He talks about Rembrandt. He talks about all these guys. He says, I only practice like they did, creating abstract doodles. And I believe the guy, of course. I think that I wouldn't have it any other way to practice and to do my doodles. And of course, to each their own, right? Everybody does things different. But this is just how I like to do mine. And then let's kiss it with white. So anyways, this is one way of doing it. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. About the painting of the boat. Thank you. It's done in the same way also, just very very loose. So there's one way of doing it, guys. A little bit colorist, a lot of fun. Let me do a little close-up that way you guys can see. I'm in Arizona in the US in Tucson. I have my home studio in Tucson right now. There's sort of a feline type of thing going on there. I think I made it a bit more feline. It's all right. Yeah, actually, a lot of it's interesting you say that the Madonna quality. A lot of the sketches that I do, I like to get a lot of my ideas from Renaissance and Baroque paintings, and kind of just do a little twist and modernize them, I guess, in a way. Yeah, totally. Let me try to put a bit of So there it is, guys. It's let me do a close up on the eyes. The name is Jose Trujillo. I am the world's greatest living artist. And you guys can check out more of my awesome stuff on YouTube, and well, I'm gonna be posting this one on eBay. So if you guys want a shout at it, go check it out. Keeping the richness of the color, I'd rather sacrifice on reality and play with color and play with texture and you know, and just explore. I mean, it's exploring, you know. It's like all impressionistic type of work. You know, the further away you can see the image coming together a bit more. So something like that, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Once again, it's super fun to share my work with you guys. And I'll be doing this daily. So don't let me be lonely here. Come check me out. Take care, guys. Till next time. Thank you so much, Ray de Luna.